Even though we have experienced a most beautiful week here in western Pennsylvania, we know that it will rain again, and sometimes there will be storms as we get into the summer months. That's the way life is as well. Things can be going along just beautiful, but then all of a sudden there's a storm. Well, what do we do? Well, let's look at the Apostle Paul today. But before I get into that, let me just say hi. I'm John Kuert, the pastor at Alpha Assembly in Clarion, Pennsylvania. It's great to be with you again. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope that today's message, this little devotional, will be a blessing to you. Maybe you're not going through a storm right now, but eventually the storms come in life. That's just the way it is. What do we do? Well, let's look at the Apostle Paul. One night on a storm tossed ship in the Mediterranean, the Apostle Paul was a prisoner on his way to appear before Caesar just because he preached the gospel. And on the way, a horrendous storm came up, and it was so bad that even the seasoned sailors on the ship thought that they were going to die. But Paul was able to stand up on the deck of that tempest tossed ship and say to that fearful crew, I urge you to take heart, for there will be no loss of life among you, but only the ship will be destroyed. For there stood by me this night an angel of God, to whom I belong and whom I serve, saying, Do not be afraid, Paul. And men, I believe God, and it will be just as it was told me. It's a wonderful thing when we as Christians can say those words, I believe God, that He's going to be with us through the storms. And it's especially good to be able to say that in this crazy world that seems to get darker and stormier and even more wicked every day. But God is eternal. He never changes. He said to the prophet Malachi, I am the Lord, I do not change. And we can trust Him. Just like the Apostle Paul, we can say, I believe God. In the midst of our storms, that's what we really need to do. That's what we really need to say. And it needs to come from deep within our hearts, not just something that comes off of our lips, but a real belief that God is with us in the storms of life, that He's going to bring us through. I'm thankful that God just doesn't allow us to go into the storms, but always promises to bring us through. One of my favorite passages of Scripture is Isaiah 43, 1 and 2, where it says, When you pass through the waters, they will not overflow you. When you pass through the fire, it will not touch you. And I like to put emphasis on the word through. When we go into those storms of life, and we all face them, no matter who we are, we will find out that God is with us, and that we will eventually come through it. God will bring us through. So keep that in mind. Maybe you're going through a storm right now. Maybe there's something that's happening, and I think for all of us, we feel like our country is going through a storm. Our world is going through a storm. But God will be with us, and He will bring us through eventually. So let's just, in absolute faith, say, I believe God. You might want to say that right now. I believe God. I believe God knows where we are. He knows what we're going through. And I believe God will bring me through it. And that's a promise that goes for every single one of us. And that means you and me. It's not just for people that are in ministry, it's for everyone. And the Apostle Paul is such a great example of one who really believed God and held on to God. And he went through so many things. He was stoned at one point and almost beaten, killed, whipped just like Jesus was with 39 stripes. I think it says in the scripture 5 times. He just went through so many things, but he maintained that faith. And the reason why he could do that is because he knew who he believed in. That great song we used to sing, I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he will keep me until that day. And if the Apostle Paul can do it and come through it, we can too. So trust him today with all of your heart, and he will bring you through that difficulty that you're facing. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's a sickness, maybe it's some other issue in your life, maybe it's a relationship. God can help you and bring you through. And I want you to know that at Alpha Assembly, we are there for you. And we would love to have you visit us sometime. You can visit us at 499 Grand Avenue Extension in Clarion, Pennsylvania, just about a mile down the road from Clarion University. We would love to have you on a Sunday morning at 10:30. And if you need any counsel, you can call the church, go onto our website or our Facebook page, and there you can find out how to contact me or contact someone at the church. We'd be delighted to help you through your storm. Well, in the meantime, enjoy this beautiful weather that we are having. And remember, the Lord will always shine through. The sun is always shining above the clouds, above the storms. The sun is always shining. And I pray that the Son, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, will shine in your life brightly. Well, have a great day, and Lord willing, we'll see you. Bye-bye.